WS visited this morning to collect the last of her belongings, taking 2 van loads. Aside from items in the garden, everything is now gone. She rushed off without going through paperwork, which we've planned to do next week. Despite the continued changes and the arrival of a new double bed, I remained calm throughout, feeling almost no emotions. Leaving doesn't appear to have brought happiness to WS. She was still grumpy and spent time complaining about the AP. Living with him 24/7 is proving different from their previous time together. She mentioned issues like him being a hoarder, slow to act, changing plans, the remote location of the new property, and him often being out with friends. These were known aspects of his personality, and I had questioned if she could live with someone like that before she left. She had claimed she could. It seems she might be reconsidering those thoughts now. The fantasy appears to be unraveling rather quickly. Had another good weekend post-WS departure, remaining busy and completing immediate tasks. Now considering decorating and changing room colors, starting with the gym. Before she left, I felt overwhelmed by the responsibility of running the house alone and burdened by possessions. Turns out I've learned how to manage everything over the years. I'm still eating healthily and losing weight, handling household tasks and getting on top of cleaning and gardening. Despite initial fears, I've realized I'll be fine on my own, and the wheels won't suddenly fall off. The only downside is that I still have lingering feelings for her, which is hard to believe. How can I still love her despite everything she's done? I anticipate time will heal this, but for now, it's unpleasant, and I'm attributing it to temporary insanity. Update. Understand that there will be good days and bad days. After mostly positive days since WS left, today has been challenging. This morning, while out walking, I grappled with feelings of failure as a husband, questioning why she chose an affair and living with AP over our marriage. Despite knowing from this website that it's not a reflection of my worth, those thoughts lingered. I managed to overcome them swiftly. However, this evening, receiving a message from WS about her upcoming visit on Wednesday unexpectedly hit hard. Despite expecting the message, it stirred strong emotions. I went for a walk to clear my head and realized this might be the last time I see her if she takes all her items from the garden and we finalize the divorce application. The mixed feelings are overwhelming. Wes has now taken her last belongings, signed the divorce application, and returned her keys. Holding myself together until she left was a challenge, and the finality of everything feels emotionally overwhelming. The speed of this process moving from a potential reconciliation 3 weeks ago to her departure is breathtaking. During our discussion about the divorce financial settlement, WS seemed genuinely shocked when I mentioned getting a mortgage to pay her half of the house value. It appeared she hadn't considered my financial situation until that moment. The injustice for the betrayed spouse is challenging to comprehend, as the money set aside for our future will be gone, leaving me with a substantial mortgage to handle. Not surprisingly, there were a couple of days this week when the speed and finality of it all left me feeling quite low. However, I recalled the lessons from my group therapy about taking charge of my own well-being. Yesterday morning, I decided to uplift my spirits by getting active. I caught the first bus of the day, 0630, an open-top bus, to a small coastal village north of my hometown. It was a beautiful morning, and I walked the 7 miles home along the promenade with the early morning sun reflecting off the sea. It was an amazing experience that boosted my mood for the rest of the day. Continuing with changes at home, I've decided to update the conservatory with a beach theme. New cushion covers arrived yesterday, and I've experimented with tester pots to choose a wall color leaning towards stonewash blue or teal. Additionally, I've recognized emerging feelings towards a friend, someone I've known for a long time. She's been supportive since my separation, and while we talk every day and occasionally meet for coffee, I'm aware that my emotional state might be influencing these feelings. Realizing the need for balance and respecting our friendship, I've decided to focus on enjoying platonic company with her and other friends for now, knowing that if something develops in the future, I can explore it at the right time. Yesterday marked my birthday, and aside from a brief moment upon waking, pondering how I ended up in this situation at my age, the day turned out quite well. I kept busy preparing for the upcoming conservatory makeover and treated myself to an item of clothing from a local designer store. It's not something I typically do, but it felt like a significant milestone in my weight loss journey as it fit perfectly. In the evening, friends organized a meal for us, filled with laughter and attempts to get me to drink more alcohol. Resisting their playful efforts, I opted for a single small bottle of cider, followed by a long walk and an ice cream. Upon returning home, checking my phone revealed a WhatsApp message from WS, expressing a desire to come over today to pick beetroot and courgettes for a visit to a local friend. While it slightly dampened the good vibes from the evening, I considered the request, finding it somewhat questionable. I responded, apologizing for the late reply, indicating I'd been out, leaving out the details. Despite not wanting to see her as it would upset me, I chose to be accommodating, agreeing to leave the side gate unlocked for her visit. This way, I fulfill her request while maintaining distance for my own well-being. Update: I've returned home from the office and my suspicions about her actions have increased. Initially, it seemed nothing had been taken, but I noticed 2 boxes of cat treats on the patio table and received a WhatsApp message about the cats approving the treats, confirming she had been and gone. Upon closer inspection, only a few courgettes and 1 beetroot plant were taken, leaving many in the garden. It appears she might be leaving the door open for subsequent visits. I'll observe how things unfold, but if she expects to be a regular visitor, she's mistaken. While I don't want conflict, I also don't want ongoing disruptions. Perhaps next time, I'll simply box up all the plants for her to collect. Currently, I'm striving to maintain peace for purely selfish reasons. Keeping things amicable makes the next 7 months during the divorce process easier and less costly in terms of legal fees. So, I'm willing to tolerate some nonsense for now, as long as it remains manageable and doesn't escalate, knowing that once the process concludes, her influence over my life will diminish. While tidying up recently, I stumbled upon some DVDs containing recorded holiday videos and family events. Deciding to watch them, I anticipated pain similar to sorting through photos, but surprisingly, it didn't hurt as much as expected. Instead, I found it a reminder that my WS used to be a lot of fun, and we shared good times together. It made me reflect on the fact that she hasn't been that person in recent years. Recalling enjoyable moments, especially her singing karaoke at my mother's birthday party, brought a positive twist. Watching a video of my late father was poignant, but it also evoked happy memories with him. There has been no contact from my WS for over a week, and I hope she received the message last week when I ensured I wasn't home during her visit, expressing my need for space. Meanwhile, I'm maintaining connections with friends, including a cinema trip with a male work colleague and spending time with my divorced friend. Our interactions are light and easy, with subtle flirting and playful banter, allowing me to enjoy the light-hearted nature of our friendship without rushing things. Update: progress continues smoothly with the decorating, albeit a bit slower due to work commitments. Recently, I installed smart strip lighting in the kitchen, creating an impressive effect under the wall cupboards and along the worktops, all controllable with voice commands to Alexa. It seems that my STBXWW got the message during her last visit when I wasn't home, as there has been no contact since then. Talking to friends, it appears she's struggling to cope with the speed of these changes in her life. Perhaps I was a bit naive to think it wouldn't impact her, but it's evident that she's finding it challenging. Although it's not my problem anymore, in hindsight, I understand it might not be entirely easy and guilt-free for her. My friends continue to be supportive, checking in to ensure I'm doing well. I've been in regular contact with my divorced friend, engaging in easy conversations and light banter. While there's been some mild flirting, we both seem content to let things evolve naturally without rushing. When she asked if starting a new relationship would be considered infidelity, I clarified that, as far as I'm concerned, the marriage is over, and I owe no further consideration to STBXWW beyond ensuring a smooth divorce process. I recently acquired 2 Christopher Ward watches, the C60 Atoll 300 in blue with a matching rubber strap, and the C60 Pro 300 bronze with a vintage leather strap. These join my existing Christopher Ward, the C60 Sapphire Black, which I adore for its transparent dial. My watch collection also features a Luminox Navy Seal, a limited edition Seiko Prospect Solar Black Series, and a rugged G-Shock. Among my pricier pieces are an Omega Seamaster, a Tag Heuer Aqua Racer, and a Bremont MBII, known for its impressive engineering. Interestingly, my STBXWW used to own a Rolex and a Longines. Update: I have a question for the experienced heads on here regarding telling STBXWW about spending time with a female friend. My friend is looking to improve her health and wants to do more walking, so we have agreed that from next week I will be her walking buddy to keep her motivated. As I live in a small town, it is pretty much inevitable that people who know STBXWW will see us and probably mention this to her. Also, at some point it is likely that this friendship may turn into a relationship, and again, someone is likely to see us together, maybe holding hands or with my arm around her. What is the accepted wisdom on when I should speak to STBXWW about this? Do I tell her so she hears it from me and not from whoever has seen us together? Or do I just maintain NC and let her deal with it when someone else tells her? Also, in relation to my post above about my watch collection, I have been able to buy 2 new watches recently because of how much money I am saving since she moved out. My council tax paid to local council in the UK, has been discounted because I am now the only adult in the house. My gas, electric, water costs have gone down, and the main saving is the money I used to put into her bank account. She has not worked since COVID, so I used to pay for her holidays and put $500 into her account most months for day-to-day spending. Now her account must be getting very low, or AP is paying for these holidays and putting money into her account. My STBXWW has been to the house this morning to collect beetroot and weed killer. I made a point of being here as I wanted to find out why she was really visiting, put a stop to those visits, and also because I wanted to see how I felt seeing her again after a month. She would not admit any other reason for her visit, but did decide to tell me lots of things that are going on in her life. It almost seemed as if she just wanted to talk, so was talking about random things, like a bus she was on that broke down in the middle of nowhere. I helped her pick all of the beetroot, courgettes, and gave her the weed killer, and these things were left on the front bench for her to collect later as she could not carry them all. I also made it clear that this was the final visit, and that section of the garden was being cleared by me, so no more excuses to visit. I took the opportunity to ask her if she was happier now. She took a long moment to think about it and then said that she thinks so. She was very unconvincing, and I believe she is just as unhappy there. It is just a different unhappy. Over the last few days, I have had a real push to finish the decorating, build the new flat pack furniture, and basically make sure every room looks at its best. I have also bought some metal wall art, and this was in place. This was all done before I knew she was coming round today, but the timing could not have been better. As she walked around and saw everything, she was not just stunned, she was totally speechless. She eventually asked who did it because apparently I cannot decorate. Well, it turns out that if she is not here criticizing everything I do, I am capable of far more than she ever realized. This transformation really shook her up, and it was clear that she was wondering what had happened to me to make me change this much and where this person had been hiding. Turns out pain and freedom is a wonderful transformer. With regard to my own feelings, I was just hoping to be able to cope comfortably, but in fact I felt nothing, no attraction, no love, certainly no desire for her to return or to spend time with her. I was surprised that I felt this way, as it seems too soon to be like this, but that is just how I felt. And in a way, the fact that I felt nothing made me feel a little sad. Anyway, onwards and upwards, I have new interests to pursue, friends to spend time with, and now I need to start thinking about doing some painting outdoors. The front gates are shocking. Met my friend twice since my recent comments. Things are still good with no awkwardness. She was surprised, but has gotten over it. Despite others predicting it, I'm unsure why she was surprised. We're keeping things positive, and I've shared my feelings, leaving the door open for her if she develops similar feelings. We're having dinner at my place this week, a simple occasion, no romance. Cooking lessons from my friend have an ironic twist as I use them for someone else. Update. I have been served with my copy of the D application this morning, so presumably STBXWW will also be receiving her copy today. It will be interesting to see if this provokes any negative form of contact. Feelings are very mixed this morning. I knew it was coming. I had been chasing it up, but it was still unpleasant to see it written down, especially the words irreconcilable differences, which is the terminology used in the UK. Now have to wait 20 weeks before I can apply for the next stage, so early January 2024, which seems an age away. No contact from STBXWW. She'd contact me every 2 weeks like clockwork, so if it continues, I'll hear from her soon. She was likely shocked to receive the divorce papers. While leaving, we briefly discussed divorce, and she didn't expect it to happen so quickly. Filing immediately caught her off guard, shaking up the reality of the situation. Despite a busy couple of months, now moving into a phase of establishing routines and structure. Cooking and cleaning are easier than expected, finding satisfaction in a clean space. Managing the garden with new tools. The struggle lies in the lack of physical contact, missing cuddles, kisses, and hugs, despite not having them for a long time. Adjusting to this remains a challenge. Update. Received an email from STBXWW right on schedule, reminding me of the cat's birthday. This process has prompted me to reevaluate my relationship expectations and what I'm willing to accept. Now clearer on my boundaries, any future relationship must align with my major criteria. Reflecting on past tolerance, I'm amused at how I used to fold pillowcases to avoid conflict, realizing some aspects were far from normal after 2 decades. In a future relationship, major criteria are non-negotiable, while minor details may involve compromises. Still maintaining a friendship with my female friend, and it seems unlikely to progress further, which I'm okay with. Ran into one of STBXWW's friends at the supermarket, who commented on my well-being and happiness, likely to be relayed in their next conversation. Update. Had a peculiar moment yesterday when I had the chance to sell the greenhouse, but realized I'm not ready for irreversible decisions. It made me wonder if feeling it's too soon for certain things, around 11 weeks since she moved out, is normal. Strangely, I'm not entirely ready to admit that there's no chance of us getting back together. A small part of me still believes in the possibility of positive changes to the marriage. Admitting this feels uncomfortable, and I anticipate various reactions, but that's my current mindset. I'm maintaining no contact except for necessary responses to her messages. Met her walking friend in the supermarket, who noted my happiness and mentioned their infrequent walks now that she lives in the countryside. Personally, I'm still doing well. Had a doctor's consultation and decided it's time to come off antidepressants. The doctor agreed, and we've planned a managed withdrawal over the next 4 weeks, aiming to be off them completely by early October. This feels like a significant step toward being in control of myself. Update. Ha ha ha. Almost starting to think my STBXWW must be marking the date in her diary. Exactly 2 weeks to the day after her last message, I received several more asking a question about her Amazon account and how it is linked to mine. I managed to unlink the account, so hers is now totally separate, and she can do whatever she wishes with it. Later the same day, I got more messages saying that she is still having problems with her eyes, low priority for her eye operation, a grinning face emoji, a message to take care, and sending kisses to the cats. A few months ago, we were discussing paying to have the operation privately so that it would be carried out quicker, but that is now something she needs to sort out between herself and her new boyfriend. I'm having a bit of a rough week with the meds' withdrawal effects. I knew it was coming, so not surprised by how I am feeling. I just need to ride out the next couple of weeks, and then hopefully I will feel better. Update. Hi, things are quiet for now. Anticipating the next contact from STBXWW on Tuesday next week, if she sticks to her bi-weekly schedule. During my upcoming time off, I plan to revamp the garden building, gym, changing the wall color to a nice light blue, deep cleaning, painting, and organizing the equipment for the colder months. On a personal note, the past couple of weeks with med reduction have been challenging, but I'm keeping my focus on being drug-free by October. Adjusting to living alone is an ongoing process, relishing the freedom to do what I want. It's liberating, and while I'm not ready for a new relationship, I appreciate the autonomy to decide when or if I welcome someone into my life. The UK weather is cooled according to my cats, who've chosen my bed for their overnight spot. Waking up with 3 cats around has its perks, especially their punctual breakfast reminders. Discovered some lingering anger while going through old cards. Instead of recycling, I burned them, finding relief in turning those sentiments to ashes. Only 2 meds left. Next week I'll be free from chemical help. No contact from STBXWW in 3 weeks. She might be getting the message or missed last week's contact due to a holiday. Gave the gym a makeover. Walls now a calming blue. Reflecting, it seems STBXWW kept the other friend as a backup for years, anticipating she could retain me as a backup too. However, my actions have shown otherwise. Surprising her by moving forward with my life and not contacting her, making it clear the backup option isn't available without meaningful change on her part. Update, I have now been drug meds free for over 2 weeks and it has been brutal. The withdrawal symptoms when I was reducing the dosage were bad enough, but nothing prepared me for the aftermath. The mood swings were very sudden, and there have been tears, lots of tears. Things are improving now, but I still feel my emotions are on a bit of a knife edge, and it takes very little to tip me over. I have also realized that I am currently very oversensitive to things people say or do. My friends are still being very supportive, but have both managed to upset me this week. One has started using the phrase "your ex" in her texts, and I was not ready to read this yet. And when talking to the other friend, she was speaking about a different situation when she used the words, "she should have kept him happy at home, then he would not have strayed." Those words cut right through me like a knife, although she had no idea of the impact of what she had just said, done. As I said, I feel at the moment I am very sensitive, but hopefully this will improve. Still no contact from STBXWW, although again this week by chance I glanced out the window and noticed her walking past. If I am seeing her doing this occasionally, it does make me wonder how many times she does so without me noticing and the why. I think for myself I would want to stay away and not be reminded, but who knows what is going through her head. Also, following my promotion a couple of months ago, I have a new member of staff to replace me, and as we no longer have a proper office, only hot desks, and I have an excellent home office setup, I have been doing a lot of her training at my own home. Also, due to the nature of the job, it requires us to go out and visit client homes. So I wonder if STBXWW or her friends have noticed that there is a different car parked on my drive regularly, or have seen us walking the streets together. The job requires us to wear anonymous clothing and not wear name badges in public, so there would be nothing to confirm that we were working other than the time of day. Pretty sure I have everything ready for the next documents that I need to submit, and to avoid lining solicitors' pockets further, this will necessitate meeting with STBXWW to get her signature on the documents and agree the process for determining the financial assets that will need to be divided. Update: had an interesting coffee with her. Same old, same old. She remained sarcastic, critical, and unhappy throughout, spending most of the hour complaining about AP. Warned in advance by a friend, I was prepared for her critical comments. She mocked me for ongoing painting, criticized color choices, and highlighted my apparent weight gain. Responded with utmost politeness and the infamous gray rock technique, giving her no satisfaction. Informed her about the weight gain side effect of my now discontinued meds. Her visit seemed focused on provoking a reaction from me, which she failed to get, and airing grievances about AP, especially his financial entanglements in his divorce. Emphasized there's no rush for our divorce, but I reminded her it needs finalization before any potential marriage with AP. Her behavior this morning only affirmed my decision to part ways. Her unhappiness and criticism highlighted the positive trajectory of my life without her. Despite the pain of this process, I'm confident that the end result will bring more happiness. I genuinely feel compassion for her, recognizing her ongoing unhappiness and the consequences of her choices. Our paths are diverging towards contrasting futures. During our meeting, I leveraged the opportunity to reach a verbal agreement on a financial settlement that satisfies me. I also secured her signature on the next form for court submission, ensuring the divorce progresses. While the upcoming steps should be straightforward, I anticipate a curveball or two from her. My friend believes STBXWW might have been probing for signs of reconciliation during her visit, possibly influenced by discussions with friends the previous night. Furthermore, my friend thinks STBXWW realizes life with AP may not be as fulfilling as expected. Anticipating a substantial sum from me, she may be planning an exit strategy to safeguard her financial interests. If my friend's assumptions hold true, it paints a somber picture. STBXWW walking away from a salvageable marriage, a caring partner, and a comfortable financial future, only to be left with money and potential loneliness. It would be more satisfying if she found happiness, but it seems she gained little and lost much in the process. I've gained profound insights into both myself and my STBXWW over the past few months. Liberated from the constraints of our marriage dynamics, I'm relishing the freedom to make decisions about my home and life. Despite a minor setback last weekend, I now feel incredibly comfortable with the situation. The upcoming months of divorce proceedings might pose challenges, but I'm ready for whatever comes my way. Feeling stronger and more prepared than ever, I'm confident in my ability to navigate this phase. I'm in complete control of my life, and decisions will be made by and for me. While uncertain about her next moves, I no longer dwell on it. If reconciliation is on the table, it'll be on my terms and at my pace. A potential reunion would hinge on her commitment to making my life better. In contemplating what it would take for reconciliation, I realized the valuable tools and resources on this website could guide me through the process. The ongoing house transformations are a symbol of my newfound lifestyle, prompting a reevaluation of possessions and daily routines. Maintenance issues are being addressed promptly, aligning my surroundings with my evolving life. During the clear-out, I found documents to pass to her, fostering a civil exchange through her friend. According to her friend, STBXWW appears confused, unsure of her thoughts. Despite being on holiday, she continues to share details, perhaps out of habit. I've responded to necessary queries, but refrained from unnecessary engagement, focusing on my evolving journey. Another step forward last week, I have had the house valued, so can now make a final decision whether to stay or go. I also had to have a telephone conversation with STBXWW to agree the valuation and that I would be paying her half of that value, regardless of whether I stay or not. I was again met with a barrage of, there is no rush to sort out the financial details or progress with the D. It seems that she is still not happy with the pace that I am progressing, and she wants me to slow down. It is not clear why, though, unless she is still unsure whether she wants a D or is still trying to keep me as backup. Whatever her thinking, I am not letting it distract or concern me. She has made numerous choices that have led us to where we are, and I am now just moving ahead with my life. For me, that means getting the financial settlement agreed by the court and finalizing the D. Her new life with AP will not be my concern. I guess this is totally normal. But as more time passes, I am finding my resolve hardening and my disgust at her behavior increasing. Clearly, I was too trusting and gullible, but that is my nature and I can live with my choices, especially as the person lying to my face should have been the one person I could trust. Update. Wishing everyone here a Merry Christmas. Your advice and support have been invaluable this year, making my journey much more manageable. No recent contact from STBXWW, hoping for a peaceful festive period. Interestingly, a friend mentioned that when STBXWW visited for coffee, she seemed abrasive, suspecting I was in a relationship due to a car frequently parked here. The irony is not lost on me. This realization highlights her reluctance to see me move on, reinforcing her preference for my solitude. Nonetheless, it's not my concern. I have a quiet Christmas planned, enjoying a traditional dinner with myself and the cats. The peace and absence of drama make this holiday season more anticipated and enjoyable than in many years.